guys, what's up? Welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be taking you through a topic that's a little bit simple, something you might have heard about before, but the reason that it's so complicated, just like cars, the more of them that are around, the more diets that are around, the more complicated it gets. The same with cars. The more cars there are, the more difficult it is to fix those cars. It used to be super simple. We used to just have a few diets, but now there's so many diets, it's hard to pick one that's going to work for you. So this is how to set up your cut to lose body fat, as well as how to set yourself up for a lean bulk, if that was what you wanted to do. So first things first, forget about every other diet you ever heard of. Have you ever heard of paleo? Have you ever heard of keto? Have you ever heard of, shoot, I can't even think of any other ones. There's just like 100,000 bajillion million diets out there, and the only reason you would need to start playing with these crazy diets, these carb cycling diets, these depletion diets, all these different ideas of diets, is just if for whatever weird reason normal dieting didn't work for you. And I mean every part of your normal dieting is set up correctly and it still doesn't work. Then you might want to start playing around with cycling carbs, you know, having high and low days, or maybe trying like a little bit of like low carb, high fat, or whatever the case may be. But up to that point, you should just try basic dieting, because dieting itself, losing body fat or gaining muscle and trying to keep the body fat low, is necessarily simple. The idea itself is simple. The action of putting it into play and actually gaining muscle or losing fat, that can be a little bit more difficult because you actually have to perform the actions that give you the result that you want. But I'm here to tell you exactly how it works in a very simple format. First off, you have your TDEE, your total daily energy expenditure. That's the amount of calories that you burn in one day from the minute you wake up, just your bodily functions doing what they're doing, digesting and you living and you looking and you thinking, all those things contribute to it, as well as the exercise that you're doing in the day and any other factor that might add to your TDEE. You know, if you're pregnant, your TDEE is going to go higher, or whatever the reasons are. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing extra work per day, then your TDEE is going to go up. So your TDEE tells us exactly how much calories you burn in one day to not gain or lose any weight at all. Now, how do you find your TDEE? It's very simple. You're gonna go to, I know there's a lot of acronyms, my friends, you're gonna go to iifym.com. iifym.com, ifitfitsyourmacros.com as an acronym. And then you're gonna click the TDEE calculate. Now it's just gonna ask you to put in some simple information, your age, your weight, your body fat, the amount of times per week you work out, how intense your workouts are, etc., etc., etc. You're gonna click a little button and it's just gonna magically crunch those numbers down for you, and it's gonna tell you what your TDEE is. Now, when you know that number, you're pretty much set. Like, I'm serious, you're pretty freaking set. Because now what you're gonna do with that number, this is how you set up your cut or your bulk. If you want to lose fat from this point forward, this is all you're going to do. Take that TDEE number, take that number, and just minus it by 300 calories. That's all. So if it's 2,300 calories for your TDEE, drop it to 2,000. 2,000 is the number of calories you're going to eat for this entire week, and then you're going to weigh yourself and see if you've lost weight. Now, the first week, of course, whenever you're going into a weight loss thing, is always fluctuating your water and all glycogen, all that other stuff, all your weight fluctuation goes a little crazy. So maybe you do it for more than 1 week on the first week, but this is what you do, is you pick that number, 300 calories less, you run it for a week or 2 weeks, you eat that many calories, and you see if you've lost weight. You track yourself every week, maybe every day if you need to do that, and you see if you've lost weight. And if you have lost weight, then all you do is continue eating that many calories. And then you're gonna continue losing weight. And that's as simple as that. It's absolutely as simple as that. And you just keep going and keep going, keep going. And if you're not losing enough weight, and enough weight would be around ½ pound to 1.5 pounds, depending on how much weight you have to lose, how much fat you have to lose. If you're not losing enough weight per week, then just drop the calories again, a little bit more. I would suggest maybe dropping it by 100 calories and trying again for another week. So then you would go from 2,300 calories down to 1,900 calories. Eat that. See if that helps you lose weight. If you're not losing weight, then drop it again. It's experimentation in the easiest form, and it's your body. You're the guinea pig. You're the test bunny. You can figure out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, because nothing is the same for every single person. So now you understand how to set up your cut. You understand how to lose fat, right? Same same idea when it comes to gaining muscle. Don't be afraid to go on a bulk. You're gonna add a little tiny bit of fat, but the purpose is to gain muscle, right? So you're expecting to gain a little bit of fat. That's why we're able to lose fat later with the step I just told you. So now you know what your TDEE is and you're trying to set up your bulk. You're trying to set up how to gain muscle, how to put on a little bit of weight, and hopefully that weight goes to mostly muscle and not fat, right? So you take your TDEE you got earlier, say we're gonna stick with the same number, 2,300 calories. Now you just increase it, instead of decreasing it by 300, you increase it by 300. Exactly, you've got it now. So now you're going from 2,300 calories for your TDEE, your daily maintenance, to 2,600 calories. You're in a 300 calorie surplus. Now, go work out, run it for a week, maybe 2 weeks with that many calories, and see if you've gained weight. If you have gained weight and you're gonna aim for about half a pound to a pound of weight per week, I wouldn't wanna go any more per week because you're gonna be adding a lot of fat at that point. You only need to add about half pound to a pound to really make strength gains and size gains. But if you are making those gains, if you're gaining weight every week, then just continue what you're doing, baby. This whole thing is patience, that's all it is. Experimentation, finding out what works right, and also coming to terms with the fact that it doesn't happen quickly, and then being patient and sticking with what you know works, because if you keep changing it every 5 seconds because it's not working fast enough, you're never gonna figure out what works for you, and you're never gonna be confident in what you're doing, and you're never gonna execute your diet correctly because you're gonna constantly be second guessing yourself. That's not good. That is terrible, right? So anyways, 2,600 calories is what you'd be eating, and if you're gaining weight, then you stick with that. If you're not gaining weight, like I said, just with the cut, you just add more calories. You know, the cut, you would take out a couple 100 extra calories. With the bulk, you add a couple 100 extra calories. So then maybe you try 2,800 calories. You add 200 calories in. If you gained weight at that point, then that's where you stay for now. That's where you stick. And then when you stop being able to gain weight again, you just add a little bit more calories. You see what I'm saying, guys? It's very simple, and it just requires experimentation. All it takes is for you to sit down, pencil out your numbers, and then try them and see if they work. Now, as far as macros go, I know you guys are gonna be wondering, what should your macros be? As a basic rule of thumb, to make it a lot easier on yourself, start with this: 50% carbs, 30% protein, 20% fat. This is a very close general guideline to what the actual USDA, the United States, basically says is the correct macronutrient ratio breakdown. But personally, this is my best ratio. I've tried really high carbs, you know, 60, 70%. I've tried really low carbs. I've tried low fats. I've tried high fats. I've tried high and low protein. I've tried everything. I've been doing this for 8 years. I've lived it for 8 years. I know what I'm doing at this point to a certain extent, right? I would say 50% carbs, 30% protein, 20% fat is your best choice. And if you take your TDEE, then add or subtract those extra 100 calories, 200 calories, then you take that number, so say we're working on that bulk, like we're saying 23 to 26, so now we're at 2,600 calories. You put that 2,600 calories into something called a macronutrient calculator. So you can punch that in on Google, macronutrient calculator. I think it's also .com too, but just Google that real quick, click on the link. It'll have a little thing that says how many calories. You punch in 2,600, and then you put in the percent you want from each macro. So you say 50 for carb, 30 for protein, 20 for fat, and then you click generate. Boom, bam. It just figures it out for you. You don't even have to do any of the guesswork. You don't have to think. Boom, it tells you the exact macros that you need to eat. Now, I'm not telling you that you need to obsess over your macros, but I would say that eating this 50, 30, 20, it's gonna help you feel energetic no matter whether you're bulking or cutting, and it's going to assist you in doing it easier. You know what I mean? When you're cutting, you're not gonna be starving when you go to bed and have to just suffer with it. It's gonna help you stay full, have the energy and power for your workouts, but also be in a deficit so that you can lose fat. Ultimately, 50, 30, 20 is my favorite thing. Add 300 calories if you're trying to bulk, decrease 200 to 300 calories if you're trying to cut. Use TDEE to let yourself know what your maintenance is, and it's as simple as that. Either decrease more if you're not losing weight, add more if you're not gaining weight, and bam. It's a simple formula. It just requires a little bit of experimentation, a little bit of patience on your part, and I think that's an important thing for everyone to try to do. Learn their bodies and be patient. Anyways, I'm getting this video a little bit long. I'm letting it go a little long, so I'm gonna cut it here, but I think I hope at least that this video had some good points in it, some good educational information for you guys to learn, because I really would like a lot of people to see more empowerment in their own understanding of their bodies and the diet that they're having. And I'd like to see you guys moving towards your goals more accurately, more quickly. So if you guys do have any questions about any of this diet stuff, about what I've talked about today in this topic, please leave it in the comments below. That way myself or someone else can get to you and help you with whatever your question is, or maybe just expand on it with you and just talk a bit. But I would really appreciate that, and I really appreciate you guys coming over this video, showing some love and support, giving it a like if you did like it, commenting like I just said, subscribing if you're not subscribed already. I appreciate it. I love you guys. If you want some machine, go get it on machinebrian.com. Use Brian10 for 10% off. Other than that though, guys, that is it. I'm off to go hit some legs. I love you all. Team Beyond the Week. CT.